What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. For today's topic, we're going to be talking about how on WWE recently, they were in Europe and the European fans were being racist and they were booing all of the black wrestlers, and we're especially going to analyze the way that they were booing Bianca Belair. So let's get into it. So I was watching WWE last week, and I believe it was either the Raw or the SmackDown. I believe it was the Raw. And I want to say that they were in Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. And the crowd was just wilding. And what I mean by just wilding, I mean like they were tripping. I mean, these fools were extra racist. I mean, the mayonnaise was super, super heavy. And my thing is, a lot of these European crowds are known to be really loud, but they just be saying a bunch of shit and you can't even understand what they're saying, and the chants be lame and goofy and all types of stuff. So they were really bringing the morale down, if I'm being quite honest. These fools were in here talking about ole, 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 ole. Y'all's damn chants were just as unseasoned as your fucking food. Let's just be real. On a serious note, y'all, it was problematic because literally every single time a black wrestler was out there facing an opponent who was not black, they were always booing that black wrestler no matter who it was. So for example, when Zelina Vega was out there trying to defend Kaden Carter and Katana Chance when they were fighting Piper Niven and Alba Fire, they were booing Zelina anytime that she made a move, and they were literally booing Kaden anytime that she did something against Piper or Alba Fire. And what's interesting about that as well too is that anytime Piper did something to Kaden or Zelina, or Alba Fire did something to Kaden or Zelina, or Chelsea Green did something to one of them, they would cheer them every single time. Now some people could say, oh, it's just because Chelsea is over, but literally this is problematic because Zelina is a face and Piper Niven is a heel, and Piper Niven is not over. Chelsea Green is over. Then you had the Street Profits who are getting booed. And what's interesting is they just won the tag team championships, and we just saw where the crowd was celebrating literally on the previous show with the Street Profits in their new WWE Tag Team Championship win. They were over here saying, you deserve it, you deserve it. But then here they were in this next show, literally booing them when they were fighting against Pretty Deadly. And I don't get the hype around these two Pretty Deadly fools. I mean, they literally look like sweet butterflies who are about to just fly out the damn window any moment. And they're literally nowhere near as talented as the Street Profits were. So the only thing that they really have to go off of is skin color. Let's just be honest here. And you know what I always say, y'all? The first time something happens, it is a potential accident. The second time something happens, it is a potential coincidence. The third time that something happens, it's a pattern in practice. Because when they got to that match where you had the fight or the tussle between Io, Bianca Bel Air, and Rhea Ripley, it was clear that anytime Io or Rhea Ripley would do a move, they would cheer for them. Anytime that Bianca Belair did a move, they would boo her. However, Bianca is a face. Io is a face. And I guess Rhea is either a tweener or a face, but it's not very clear, what that is. Regardless, she was getting booed. And it wasn't because she was being heelish or anything like that. But I want to kind of go through all the ways in which this just was messed up all the way around. And I want to debunk any of the bullshit excuses that any of the suspected white supremacists can use to justify the racism that these European fans were showing against Bianca Belair. I said this before and I'll say it again. I am a huge Bianca Belair fan. I mean, literally everything about her is just great. She's got the in-ring ability. She's got the gear on lock. She's got the aura. She's got the spirit. She's good and well-rounded in every other department. Even as someone who does promo, she's good. And let's just be real. She is fine. That is a beautiful sister. I'm not going to lie to you. Man. Brothers, we must stay focused. There is literally no logical reason to sit around and boo Bianca Belair, especially given the fact that she is not a heel. She's actually a face. And here's the thing. All the other chicks were faces as well too. So Io, who's involved in this feud, is also a face, and Rhea is either a face or a tweener. It's not really made clear, but either way, she's either a face or a tweener. And my point is that Bianca is not a heel. So booing her actually doesn't really make sense. Now, some will say that she's been heelish because she's been slapping Io in the face and she's been kind of smushing her, or whatever the hell you call that when you do that to somebody's face. But here's the thing. Rhea was doing it too, and Rhea Ripley is actually still getting cheered. That doesn't make any sense. So we can take that out as a factor, because some people like to make the argument, oh, well, she's been heelish because of how she's been treating Io. Bullshit, because why is Rhea not getting that same treatment? Think about it, y'all. Rhea was sitting there acting entitled and all types of shit. I mean, let's just be real. I don't know about y'all, but I've just been getting tired of Rhea's ass. I mean, she literally comes out every week and just bitches and whines and hoes about every single damn thing. Every time that there's an issue between her and someone, she thinks that she's entitled to some type of championship win. And here's the thing. That match, based off of the way that they wrote the story, was supposed to be between Io Sky and Bianca Belair, and now she's inserting herself and acting like she's entitled to be a part of this, and they're trying to literally shoehorn her in. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't really see the hype with damn Rhea Ripley. I mean, she literally looks like a gothic clown. I totally just don't get it. I mean, this chick has like literally 2 moves. All she has is that damn headbutt that she does, and then the Riptide, which is not even that great of a special move. And I'm just gonna say something because a lot of people just feel differently about this, but even in the feud that she had with Liv Morgan, she still was wrong. I mean, Rhea is literally one of the most annoying, and I would probably put her second now. The second most annoying female superstar right now. The only person who's beating her is racist ass Tiffany Stratton. Anyway, going back to Bianca, there's a lot of excuses that are flying around as to the reason why Bianca is getting booed. And they're trying to take the attention away from the fact that it's her skin color and these Europeans are racist. So let's also take a look at some other things. Some people are saying it's been her championship wins or the number of them. And I'm like, ain't that about a bitch? Let's just kind of review some of the people who won championship belts. Bianca has won how many championships at this time? WWE championships, that is. I believe that's 2, right? Io Sky is now at 2. Y'all are not booing her, saying that she had too many. Rhea Ripley has won 2. Y'all are not booing her. Y'all are cheering her, even in her entitlement. Charlotte Flair won 7, and you waited until the end of when she actually won all these championships to actually say that you're tired of her. Becky Lynch had 7 as well too, and then she just harped on that man gimmick that was played the hell out for years and years and years, and y'all said nothing. So all of a sudden, Bianca has too many championships? Bullshit, man. Funny part about all that is she's better than all them chicks I done named. So even if she did get too many, she's better than all of them, so it really don't even matter. And to be honest, she should have actually had her push much sooner. In my opinion, I believe that the push that she should have been given was scrapped for 2 different reasons. For one reason, it was because of stupid ass Tiffany Stratton. And for reason number 2, it was because they were putting her with Jade Cargill because they're using them as diversity tokens. So let's break both those things down. The reason why I say Tiffany Stratton is the reason why Bianca Belair was not pushed much sooner than what she's being pushed right now is because she had a good storyline that was going with her having a beef with Bayley and them not seeing eye to eye and her wanting to get her revenge. And some of you all have been bitching about her not being a heel. Now, don't get me wrong. I do want to see Bianca's heel work as well too, again, because I thought she did a great job. But they missed the chance to give that to her because they focused so much on damn Tiffany Stratton and giving her the Money in the Bank briefcase. What they should have done is kept the belt on Bayley and then had it where Bianca Belair was the person who won the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then when it came time for her to cash in, she would have cashed in on Bayley to get her revenge for everything that she did to her while she was a part of Damage Control. But no, They didn't want to do that because they wanted to push this blonde bimbo who can't do shit but say Tiffy every 5 damn seconds, and everybody just loves her because she's blonde and has big titties and can do a moonsault. Let's just be real. And then when it comes to the Jade Cargill thing, although I always want to see black wrestlers succeed, they were trying to have Bianca Belair be attached to Jade Cargill just for the sole purpose that they're both black. Now, some could sit back and they could say, oh, she was mentoring her, she was doing this, she was doing that. But there was literally no real attachment, and they never explained why they were even attached to one another whatsoever. So it can be inferred that this was only a thing because they both were black. And then when Naomi naturally became friends with all of them, it became more clear that they were just trying to take all of the black wrestlers and group them together. Now, is this something that's necessarily bad? Not necessarily in the idea of having black people all be together and to partner with one another, but for the sakes of WWE and using them as diversity tokens, of course it's bad. And it's also bad because it hindered Bianca having her title run much sooner. And that's part of the problem with a lot of these different storylines that they have that they scrap. And we're going to get into that a little bit later and how that's impacted a lot of the black wrestlers. Another argument that I keep hearing is that she's boring. How the fuck is she boring? Nothing Bianca does is boring. She has fly outfits. She has a dope aura. She has great in-ring abilities. She's highly athletic. I can't understand what actually would make her boring. And I truly don't believe that the people who say that believe this as well too. They're just trying to find an excuse because they don't want to have the label of being a racist. And here's the thing, and here's my message to the people who get really defensive, and I'm talking about these suspected white supremacists, these mayo eaters who just are so damn afraid of being called racist because that's what they are. The reality is that this is how we can tell that you're the one who makes the big deal out of race and not me. Because if it was all about just individualism and things like that, you wouldn't concern yourself with me saying that these fans are racist or that anybody else is a racist if it does not involve you directly. Ultimately, a lot of these white fans get upset when I say that certain people are racist because they understand that race is a system, and a label like being a racist or a white supremacist is a damning label that will hurt their pockets and hurt their notoriety and will give them a certain stigma. And ultimately, they know it's a team sport because the truth is that if it's all about individualism and not about race and things like that, then you wouldn't have shit to say about the fact that I'm saying she's getting treated badly because of the fact that she's black. So let's just be honest for a second. Listen, y'all gonna get off my wrestling crush because ultimately Bianca is phenomenal and I support everything that sister does. So y'all are not about to sit there and just make up a bunch of stuff because you're racist and you don't like seeing her. So you better get used to it because she's phenomenal. She's better than any wrestler that you like. And she definitely was better than them two, that being Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, who she is slated to face. Because let's be real, she deserves to be there more than anybody else because she won that Elimination Chamber match because she dominated and whooped them chicks' asses, despite the fact that she was put off by what was going on between Jade and Naomi. So yeah, I ain't trying to hear none of them stupid excuses. And if y'all want to make the hometown homage or respect or loyalty argument, that doesn't really hold water as well too. Because number one, if you can sit there and celebrate somebody who is a part of your lineage or is racially the same as you, why can't I do the same thing? Why can't I want to see the best for the black wrestlers, especially when they are showing that athletically they are gifted and far more gifted than many of the other wrestlers who are not black that are on the roster. And in this case, Bianca is better than every single women's wrestler that is currently on the roster and has been on there for the past probably decade, if we're being honest. Outside of the only person who can even compete with her even a little bit in the ring, in my opinion, was Ember Moon, and she's not even in the company anymore. Now, when it comes to the argument of, loyalty and whatnot, another thing I noticed is that Drew McIntyre is from Scotland. And then there was another show where they seemed to be doing some type of strange ass chant for him, right? But they still recognized that he was a heel and that Randy Orton was a face. So I'm saying that there were two different shows, and then on the next show they were still in Europe, and these two were fighting, Randy and Drew. That was, and Drew was a heel, Randy was a face. They were chanting for Drew, but even when they would do that exchange, and I noticed that they do this in WWE when they're fighting each other, and they'll say yeah and boo depending on who it is, which helps people decide who fans love and who fans don't like at that moment. Whenever Randy would hit Drew, they would say yeah, and every time Drew hit Randy, they would say boo. So they still were in character enough to basically say, okay, we recognize that although we're loyal to Drew because he's one of us, we still recognize that he's a heel and we will boo him accordingly. So none of that holds water. So this once again goes back to the issue of it being about race. I want to be real about something, y'all. Although I'm saying all of this about these racist ass European fans, WWE itself is not off the hook. WWE is clearly trying to undermine their black wrestlers any way that they can. And we can see the covert ways in which this is happening. So let's kind of take a look at some of the things that they've done. One thing that I want to just point out, and I don't know if you all feel the same, but this is just how I feel about it. This has to be one of the worst build-ups to WrestleMania that I have ever seen, period. But for the black wrestlers, it's even more of a tragedy. And what's interesting is that one of the best feuds that they actually have going into WrestleMania is actually a feud that involves two black people. And that's the feud that's going on between Naomi and Jade, especially with us now seeing Naomi's character work. I'm bringing that up to basically say this is a feud that they're kind of building up right now because they waited so damn long because, again, they were too busy pushing stupid ass Tiffany Stratton, and they made another story that they had to try to make shake in the meantime. And now all of a sudden they're letting it unfold. It doesn't have a championship bout. It doesn't have any real significance outside of the fact that Naomi is turning heel. So that's why I say that there's no real actual belt behind it, right? They haven't given anything serious to Michin or B-Fab, despite the fact that both of these sisters have worked their asses off, and they both are good wrestlers, especially B-Fab. The New Day, they made a big spectacle about them turning heel because they hurt Big E's feelings. And then they've done nothing with them since then. They just let these niggas just go out there, and then the crowd just keeps booing them because they're so mad because they hurt Big E's feelings. And they never have given them a real feud. I mean, they literally could have had them fight the War Raiders as heels, and then them got the belts back, and then they be champions again, but as heels, just like they were in 2014. Now, the other thing that I noticed too, even with Bianca, is that they're really trying to sabotage her. And the reason why I say that is because if they really wanted a clean feud, they could have just made it where it was her versus Rhea Ripley. But what they did now is they put the belt on Io Sky because now they're making it either shaky that she would even get the belt because Io just got it, or the other thing that they may do is make it where if Bianca gets it off of Io, although she just got it, she's going to get booed because it seems like she's being handed opportunities all of a sudden. So they're really just setting her up for failure when they could have actually set her up for success a long time ago. So they're undermining her from that regard. But again, they do this all the time with black wrestlers. They just undermine them despite the fact that they are phenomenal, because Bianca literally is at the top of the food chain when it comes to these wrestlers. Yet she's being treated like she's either over pushed or she's boring or she's not interesting enough or whatever the case may be. And she's the total package, and y'all know it. And I mean, let's just be real. This is a common trend with what they do with Bianca Belair, because she was getting booed and getting hurled racist slurs and all this other stuff at her because she was on the cover of WWE 2K24. And she also was booed back when she had that feud with Damage Control. So it's kind of a trend that anytime that Bianca is faced with some type of opponent or she gets some type of accolade, that somebody is out there hating because she is beautiful and she is black. And by the way, speaking of black wrestlers, where the hell is Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend? I ain't seen them at all. And don't get me started on damn Carmelo Hayes. This dude been busting his ass and been putting on 5-star matches every single time he gets in the ring. And y'all just have him jobbing and looking like a chicken shit. I mean, he might as well be the black version of Miz. I mean, let's just be honest here. But here's the problem. He's better than most of the wrestlers on the roster. And I don't want to hear excuses about how he's small, he's this, he's that, because it's always some bullshit as to the reason why y'all can't push these people. Because if I remember correctly, Seth Rollins wasn't a big guy and he's held that belt quite a few times. Cody Rhodes also isn't a big guy and he's currently holding the belt. He's been holding this belt for an entire year, although we can tell that he's had all these lackluster feuds and he's just literally only liked because of his intro at this point. Let's just be honest here. But going back to everything that I said, it's clear that the European fans only did this because they don't like the black wrestlers. And WWE is allowing that to happen. So you can even tell that by doing this, they're also preparing it where they're creating some type of vibe where these wrestlers like Bianca Bel Air deserve to be booed because of the European crowd's reaction. It's almost as if, and I'm putting the tinfoil kufi on for a second here. It's almost as if they did this knowing that this was the vibe that they could create with Bianca going into WrestleMania. Either way, I'm always going to cape for the black wrestlers because ultimately they show athleticism beyond this world and they never get pushed the way that they deserve to be pushed. And again, don't get me started on Montez Ford and how he's getting played as well too, and how he's even getting played against Bianca. But again, that's a conversation for another day. Our focus right now is on Bianca and the fact that she's phenomenal and she's not getting pushed or getting the respect that she deserves. But I see her shining despite the fact that you got a bunch of male monsters in the crowd who literally went home after this show and probably put damn mayonnaise on a baguette and ate it. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, and I definitely will have more to come in the future. So make sure you stay tuned. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, and bell icon so you get notifications for whenever I come out with new content on this channel. Other than that, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out, y'all.